flashes. You saw big play potential on both sides. And then you saw not enough consistency, like I was talking about. I'm going to tell you what, now I will say this, that day we scrimmaged, it was about as warm and as hot as it has been maybe in a long, long time. But you know what? That's a circumstance you had. And you get hot, you get tired. You cannot give in to that. The mental fatigue of it, the tiredness, all those types of things, you just got to grind. More consistency. And that's usually where you're at in the first scrimmage, but you can't accept it. You know what I'm saying?
Do you get a chance to see the young guys? Do they change after first scrimmage? Have they get the taste of kind of what it's
Yeah,
like?
I think they are, because they get a little starry-eyed, and then I think they go in half scared. Then they realize, well, maybe I am. Then they realize, it's not that bad. It's not. Ain't nothing out there that, and it's almost like a reassurance that I'm okay. I can do this. You know what I'm saying? It's like anything you do. I mean, you're always nervousness till you do it a couple times. Say, I'm good enough to be here. And like I told him right there, there's not a guy out here that's not good enough to be here. There's not a guy here that doesn't deserve to be here. What I'm saying, talent-wise. The thing is, what's keeping most of you guys back is generally the consistency you play with. But that's all the time. We're getting there.
You mentioned in your opening thing about how people spend so much time talking about combines. It's more about football nowadays. So going into this game, what are you guys doing in scrimmages and just in the drills to make sure your linebackers can versatile?
Situations. I mean, making them think, making them play football, making them understand where their help is. And it's football is not a class. You talk about academics. Football is as academic as anything. You're taking a test every week. You got to fill out a test. It's just happened to be in front of 83,000 in a stadium and 20 million on a TV. I mean, and what your answers are and how you. In other words, if I'm spilling the play to somebody else, if I'm the guy supposed to make it, if I'm setting the edge, if I'm the blitzer, if I got the back, if I got the tight end, I mean, those disciplines. And you go back and look at the combinations of things a linebacker really has to do. It's crazy. I mean, that is a unbelievably versatile position to blitz, to play run, to be physical, to play skilled in space, to tackle in space, to tackle at the line of scrimmage and take on 300-pound guards, to have to, do all the things you got to do. And, those guys are, they're starting to really progress, starting to flash a little bit.
What has Roderick done to kind of turn the corner from last season?
Well, I mean, I thought he was playing pretty good last year when he played, but I think just maturity and consistency, you know what I'm saying?
How are your backup running backs doing so far?
Not bad. I tell you, I mean, Jaquez doing okay, but I like the Jonathan Vickers, the way he's running. Ryan Green has stood out. Ryan, sometimes I think we got to keep his eyes straight, but he made 2 really good runs the other day in the scrimmage, broke tackles and strong. Just staying a little more consistent. Sometimes he'll miss a read every now and then with an eye violation, but I'm not. I mean, guys doing much better. The young guy Rasul, he jumps out at you.
Is there a fine line? You obviously know what Dalvin can do, but you also need to keep him sharp and keep him repping.
There is a fine line. How many times do you get? But when we're not tackling to the ground, he's getting. I mean, we're repping him to death because and that's what we're trying to do. You got to get in playing shape.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can tell them guys don't play, get protected. And all. Man, that don't work. You got it. Football's a game. Everybody said, well, set them out and rest them. Unless you're there ain't a lot of guys I've known and ever been around that can sit for long periods of time and really be sharp. You know what I'm saying? But what you got to do is keep them off the ground.
Right.
And it's a thud drill. It's not we ain't trying to kill each other. I tell our guys out here, a square up shot you hit pretty good. You don't try, but those crackbacks or blindside shots, you don't do your teammate that way. You walk up and nudge him, or you know what I mean, because you're going to get enough of those in the game. But you got to keep them sharp.
Jimbo, being as thin as you are a quarterback right now, does that affect preparation at all? I mean, you usually have 4 teams going.
No, it doesn't right now because what we're trying to do, we're getting in so many different full wide packages. You got some injuries, some full wide packages too. I mean, all your different and your nickel, dime, and all those 7-8 man DB packages. When you do those, a lot of times because you only got maybe 16 total DB, and you have 7 on the field at a time. You got to come together and only do 2 groups and those other guys just get a break during that period. You know what I mean? We'll do it. We'll split them up at times, but then the quarterbacks just get double work, which actually make them doubly as good.
How's Travis Rudolph's recovery coming along?
Good. They said progressing nicely, and hopefully we'll have him in a couple of days.
Is he kind of itching to get out there?
Oh, he is that. And I tell you what, he's doing a good job leading on the sideline.
What's the biggest difference with DeAndre from when you started the first practice till now?
I think today what I really liked was his demeanor and control of the team. In other words, not out there just doing assignments, but part of quarterbacking, you got to have presence. You got to control things. It's not about, everybody takes about physical and throwing the ball. I mean, you got to have presence in the huddle. You got to have presence on the field. You got to have command, making sure guys are getting command. No, over here. You know, in your body language and things like that. And I think that's continually growing. And I'm grinding on him. I mean, bad on him. I mean, because I think that is, when we recruit quarterbacks and things like that, man. I mean, when they walk in the room, you better know who they are. not because they say so, because you ever just look at somebody and say, there's some presence about him, there's some command about him, and continue to and you got it off the field. Now you got to continue to grow on the field. You know what I mean? And that's hard as you're learning your job, but that's the hand they're dealt.
Jimbo, Trickett said that this freshman class was as good an offensive line freshman class as he's ever had.
I would be one of the best ones. I mean, talent-wise.
Yeah.
Now, can they take it? Everybody said, well, guys, you don't know what. Sometimes their mental makeup till they get under stress conditions and things like that. But they've done a good job so far.